There are Toyota Land Cruisers in Japan right now with over 800,000 kilometers on their original engines. That's nearly 500,000 miles. And these aren't garage queens. They're daily drivers. Working vehicles. Some of them are taxis. Meanwhile, here in the US, a Toyota owner hits 200,000 miles and throws a party. Posts it on Reddit. Get a cake from the dealership. And look, 200K is great, but it's not even close to what these vehicles are actually capable of. So what's the difference? It's not the car. A Camry built for the Japanese domestic market and a Camry built for the American market, mechanically, they're almost identical. Same engine blocks, same transmissions, same tolerances. The difference? It's what happens after the car leaves the factory. And it comes down to one Japanese maintenance philosophy that most American Toyota and Lexus owners have never even heard of. And if you adopt it today, you can dramatically extend the life of your vehicle. We're talking 300, 400, even 500,000 miles without a catastrophic failure. So let me break this down for you. Because this isn't some vague, take care of your car advice. This is specific. This is actionable. And honestly, some of it is going to frustrate you because it's so simple you'll wonder why nobody told you sooner. In Japanese automotive culture, there's a concept called yobo saibi. It translates roughly to preventive maintenance, but that English phrase doesn't capture the full weight of it. In Japan, yobo saibi isn't a suggestion, it's a discipline. It's baked into how people think about vehicle ownership from the moment they buy the car. Here's the thing, in America, we have a fundamentally reactive relationship with our vehicles. Something starts making noise, we take it in. Check engine light comes on. Okay, now we'll deal with it. The car still runs fine. Then nothing's wrong. In Japan, the mentality is the opposite. You maintain the vehicle so aggressively that problems never get a chance to develop. You're not waiting for symptoms. You're eliminating the conditions that cause symptoms in the first place. And listen, this isn't just cultural preference. Japan's shaken inspection system, their mandatory vehicle inspection that happens every 2 years, forces a level of maintenance scrutiny that we simply don't have here. Vehicles that fail shaken get pulled off the road. Period. Now here's where it gets practical. Because yobo saibi isn't just a mindset, it translates into very specific habits that Japanese Toyota and Lexus owners practice religiously. And I'm going to walk you through the most impactful ones. Let's start with the big one, oil. Your Toyota owner's manual, if you're running a modern Camry, RAV4, Highlander, whatever, probably tells you to change your oil every 10,000 miles. Maybe every 12 months if you don't hit that mileage. And most American owners follow that to the letter. Some even stretch it further. In Japan, the standard practice among informed Toyota owners is 5,000 kilometers. That's roughly 3,100 miles. Some go to 7,500 kilometers, which is about 4,600 miles. Almost nobody in Japan who plans to keep their Toyota long-term waits until 10,000 miles to change the oil. That's considered neglect. Now, why? Why would Japanese owners cut the manufacturer's own interval in half? Because they understand something that the owner's manual isn't designed to tell you. That 10,000-mile interval, it's not the optimal interval for engine longevity, it's the interval Toyota calculated to balance longevity with convenience and cost of ownership. It's a compromise. It keeps the engine alive through the warranty period and a reasonable ownership window. But if your goal is 500,000 miles, that interval is way too long. Here's what actually happens inside your engine between mile 7,000 and mile 10,000. The oil's additive package, the detergents, the anti-wear compounds, the viscosity modifiers, they're significantly degraded by that point. The oil is still lubricating, sure, but it's not protecting the way it was at mile 2,000. Where metals accumulate, microsludge begins forming in oil passages, and over 200,000 miles of those extended intervals, the cumulative damage is massive. Think about it this way. Imagine you brush your teeth once every 3 days, instead of twice a day. Will your teeth survive? Probably, for a while. But at year 30, you're going to see damage that someone with a twice daily habit never developed. That's exactly what's happening inside your engine. So the move here is simple. If you're running full synthetic, which you should be in any modern Toyota or Lexus, change your oil every 5,000 miles. Not 10,000, not 7,500. 5,000. Use 0W20 if that's what's spec'd, and run Toyota Genuine Motor Oil or an equivalent that meets the ILSAC GF6 standard. This single change alone will add tens of thousands of miles to your engine's life. Maybe more. Now let me talk about something that genuinely bothers me. Transmission fluid. Toyota, and they're not alone in this. BMW does it, Mercedes does it, lots of manufacturers do it. Toyota has labeled the automatic transmission fluid in many of their vehicles as lifetime fill, meaning you never need to change it. It's good for the life of the vehicle. And here's what that actually means when you read between the lines. It's good for the life of the vehicle as Toyota defines it, which in engineering terms is usually around 150,000 to 200,000 miles. After that, you're in what they consider extended service life. They're not guaranteeing anything past that point. In Japan, Toyota technicians, the ones working at actual Toyota dealerships, routinely recommend transmission fluid changes every 40,000 to 60,000 kilometers. That's roughly 25,000 to 37,000 miles. They completely disregard the lifetime designation because they've seen what happens when you don't. Automatic transmission fluid breaks down. It loses its friction-modifying properties. It gets contaminated with clutch material and metal particles from normal operation. And when it degrades far enough, the transmission starts shifting harder, running hotter, and wearing exponentially faster. I've personally seen Toyota transmissions with 300,000 miles that shifted like new. The owner changed the fluid every 30,000 miles. And I've seen transmissions at 120,000 miles that were grinding themselves apart. Lifetime fluid, never touched. Same transmission, same engineering. Completely different outcome. So what do? If you have a Toyota or Lexus with an automatic transmission, and this applies to the older 4-speeds, the 6-speeds, the 8-speeds, and yes, even the newer direct shift CVTs, get the transmission fluid changed. Use Toyota WS fluid or equivalent. Do it every 30,000 to 40,000 miles. If you're past 100,000 miles and you've never done it, get it done now. Don't let anyone tell you it's sealed for life. That's a cost-saving measure, not an engineering recommendation. Here's one that almost nobody in the American market pays attention to. Coolant. Think about when you last changed your coolant. Not topped it off, actually drained and replaced it. In Japan, coolant replacement is treated with nearly the same urgency as oil changes. Not the same frequency, obviously, but the same level of seriousness. Japanese Toyota owners typically replace their coolant every 2 years or 40,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. Some use Toyota Super Long Life coolant, which can stretch to about 4 or 5 years, but they still don't push it to the absolute limit. Here's why this matters so much. Coolant doesn't just keep your engine from overheating. It protects every metal surface inside your cooling system from corrosion. The water pump, the radiator, the heater core, the head gasket surfaces. When coolant breaks down, and all coolant breaks down eventually, it becomes acidic. And acidic coolant starts eating your engine from the inside. I've seen head gasket failures on Toyotas with 80,000 miles, where the root cause was degraded coolant that had been sitting in there since the factory. 80,000 miles. On an engine that should have gone 4 times that distance, all because nobody drained the coolant. The fix? Simple. Replace your coolant on schedule. Use Toyota Pink Super Long Life coolant or a compatible equivalent. Do a complete drain and fill, not just a top off. If you're handy, you can do this in your driveway for $30. If you want the dealer to do it, it's usually under $100. Either way, you're protecting thousands of dollars in engine and cooling system components. This next one only applies if you've recently bought a new Toyota or Lexus, or if you're planning to, and it might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. In Japan, the break-in period for a new engine is treated almost like a ritual. The first 1,000 kilometers, that's about 621 miles, are driven with extreme care. No hard acceleration, no sustained high RPMs, no heavy loads. Gentle, varied driving that lets the piston rings seat properly against the cylinder walls. In America, people drive their brand new Camry off the lot and immediately get on the highway at 80 miles an hour. Here's the engineering reality. When an engine is brand new, the piston rings and cylinder walls have microscopic imperfections. During the break-in period, these surfaces wear against each other in a controlled way, creating a perfect seal. If you hammer the engine before this seating process completes, you get poor ring seal, increased oil consumption, and reduced compression permanently for the entire life of the engine. Toyota's own internal data, and this has been confirmed by multiple independent engine builders, shows that properly broken-in engines maintain better compression and lower oil consumption even past 200,000 miles compared to engines that were abused in their first 1,000 miles. So if you're picking up a new Toyota or Lexus, take it easy for the first 600 to 1,000 miles. Vary your speed, stay under 4,000 RPM, avoid cruise control for extended periods. Let the engine do its thing. It's a small sacrifice that pays dividends for decades. All right, now let's talk parts. And this is where I know some of you are going to push back because aftermarket parts are cheaper, and sometimes they work fine. I get it. But here's what Japanese Toyota owners figured out a long time ago. Over the full life of a vehicle, not over one repair, over the full life, genuine OEM parts almost always cost less. Let me explain. Take something simple like an oil filter. A genuine Toyota oil filter runs about $7 to $9. An aftermarket filter might be $4. You save $3. But the Toyota filter has an anti-drainback valve that's engineered to the exact specification of your engine's oiling system. Some aftermarket filters have weaker valves that allow oil to drain back to the pan during cold starts. That means for the first few seconds after every cold start, your engine bearings are running with reduced oil pressure. Does it matter once? No. Does it matter if over 1,000 cold starts across 5 years? Absolutely. That's cumulative wear that adds up invisibly until one day your rod bearings are making noise at 180,000 miles instead of lasting to 400,000. And this applies across the board. Air filters, spark plugs, brake pads, suspension components. The Japanese domestic market owner doesn't buy Toyota genuine parts because they love the brand. They do it because they've done the math on total cost of ownership, and the OEM parts consistently come out ahead when you factor in longevity and cascading failures from inferior components. Now, am I saying every aftermarket part is garbage? No. Some brands make excellent components that meet or exceed OEM specs. Denso, Aisin, and GK. Many of these companies literally manufacture the OEM parts for Toyota anyway. But the random discount filter from an unknown brand? That's a gamble. And Japanese owners don't gamble with their vehicles. This